Hello, Mgtows. Hello, men. Let me just get my sound together. Yeah, everything seems to be working fine. Hello, Mgtows. Hello, men. Okay. 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 Hello, men. Hello, Mgtows. Go your own way. Go your own way. All your Simpsons are forgiven from the past. Mgtow's going to give you a new life. All you got to do is hang around long enough to get it. Uh, Today we're going to talk a little bit about motivational theories. We're going to talk about a little about motivation, and like I say in the low bar down there, down there. Uh, like I say in the low bar, motivational theories. We're coming to the end of a long winter, and some of you are probably a lot like me. You're feeling that you want to get out, you just want that sun to come through, and you want a whole day out, and you want to get some fresh air, and it's the weekend. And for most of us in the north, we're going to have a pretty good day tomorrow, or maybe the day after. For you, it's going to go up to 60, and it'll be the first day that it goes above. Say, I'll be able to pedal my bike with a lot more ease, so I plan on doing that tomorrow. And but I just, man, it gets so depressing. It gets so. I was looking at the Mgtow today, and it just didn't have the same. It didn't have the same flair. Everything seemed gray. And around this time of the year, and for the Australians, our Australian brothers down under, you're coming up into your winter months, and we're coming up into our summer months, and that always seems a little funny, and it's hard to imagine that sort of thing, but we're coming out of a long gray, winter. And sometimes you want to motivate yourself. Sometimes you want to get something going. Sometimes you just like me. You gotta, man. I feel like I just got to get some energy here and get something going and go with it. And a lot of times in Mgtow, when I see guys come into Mgtow, we run into a lot of motivational theories. We want to what you need that that uh that salesman, that high impact salesman is going to be. What you need to do is start working out. What you need to do is get your energy level, get your zing and your zang, or your wing and your wang, or whatever it is they want you to get together. And a lot of these things are bullshit. A lot of these things are just made to get you to buy some brand new supplement. It's there's a lot to it. We have coronavirus around, and that's at 400 in the United States right now. And I was just looking at the impending impact of that, and that's going to probably be upon a lot of us in going out. And you could still go out as a MGTOW. We're pretty independent guys. If you do any study on the plague, the Black Plague, or the bubonic plague, which it is, you'll find out that the people that had done the best in the bubonic plague were monks, and people that were isolated. Rich people were isolated too from the rest of the people. So isolation and monks, and then the monks started. It was really kind of funny, but everybody started becoming monks, and then they started wandering around the countryside, beating themselves with sticks and whips and everything, because they thought suffrage was the way to go. And we all know that's not the way to go. And then they all got bubonic plague. But but the ones that were smart, that stayed inside with the wine and the beer that they made, they were the ones that survived. Uh, but So MGTOWs, we don't worry. We're isolated people, and when you want to go out and you want to start motivating yourself, what do you do? What do you do when you want to start motivating yourself? Summer's coming, man. It's gonna be a long, nice summer with a lot of good weather, and you want to take advantage of that, and you want to maybe start some new enterprises, and just start feeling better about life, because winter sucks in the north. I know a lot of you guys come from Canada and Ohio and New York and Maine, and up through the Rust Belt down over to our friends in Michigan and upper states and everything. And even if you live in some of the mid states, it's pretty dreary. And it's not what you want. And what you want is really to get out there and start enjoying life, and you know, motivate yourself again. Get motivated. Most of us come home now. We probably just crash on the couch and that's it. You know, you start watching TV, and I know I put on a few pounds this winter, and even though I tried to pedal and everything, a lot. I can't. I don't know how many. I think I was working on 400 and some miles this winter, but that's not a lot. I put 3,000 miles on in the summer, uh, so you can see the difference. And pedaling's harder and everything. And tomorrow we're gonna have a nice day, and but it's that time of year where we're going to get some salesmen around, and we're going to get that them people that know that it's that time of year. Motivational theory, it's what is it? It's individuals working towards their goals and outcomes and interests in business, and individuals just wanting to have a better life and more economic, a better, more economic life. You have more resources and stuff like that, and working on yourself, your health wise, and extrinsic factors and things like that, and self confidence. A lot of people need self confidence, and around this time of the year, and you want to get with that good happy feeling as fast as you can. But there are going to be, like I said, there's going to be predators out there, and they're going to want to sell you. They're going to want to sell you systems and modes, and so what they call intrinsic motivations. They focus on outcomes for the individual, and outcomes rather than activities. Now, outcomes and rather than activities, you have good outcomes is going to be you're going to work your way into a more financially secure area, and activities, well, that would be kind of working yourself back out of the drudgery of whatever you're doing every day, and plan some activities to get out and escape, escape this this mode, this thing that we're in. There's a lot of motivational theories. The one I like to talk about, and is the one you're going to see when you see that enthusiastic salesman. He's like, "Woo! Just buy these and get a can of this and this, Red Bull, and you're just it's going to change your life." And them are the ones that scare me. Them are the ones that come at Mgtow and everything. And we haven't had a lot of them around lately, but I can see springs here, and the spring spawn will come up. We all got to be careful about the spring spawning, because pretty soon the girls are going to be walking around with their shorts, and the chicken heads are going to be everywhere. And and there's going to be a lot of activity out there the first 60, 70, 80-degree day. They're going to want to work on you, and they're going to be out there. So there's a lot of things Mgtows have to watch out for. And there's a lot of motivational theories, and most of them come from one motivational theory. That's Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Most of these motivational theories are based on this hierarchy of needs, where you're working up through family life, and you got what you need. You work up through friends and family and how you feel about yourself, to this magic area, this magic kingdom on the top, the triangle on the top, which is self-awareness, or self whatever it is. And it's a magic place that they give everybody, this magic place where everybody gets to think whatever they want about that magic place, and you just make an introspective goal in your mind. And I started thinking about this today, because I started thinking about the Spurgs, and I was thinking about how they can't, I don't know what they call it if they're on the spectrum. You can close your eyes, and it kind of helps me some days. I close my eyes and I think about a nice warm beach and the water flowing in, and I can imagine that. I can imagine. I do meditational theory myself, and I can imagine a high peak mountain, and I'm climbing it. I can imagine being on a bus. I can imagine, just being on my bike, and but Spurgs can't imagine that. They can't do that kind of thinking. They can't see. The no picture comes. If you ask a Spurg what he thinks, he's going to tell you, "I just see my eyeballs," and he can't imagine that, and that's why they can't understand sarcasm or irony or humor. Um, there's reasons why they can't do that. That section's shut off on them. Uh, but that's nor here or there. Motivational wise, we want, yeah, motivational wise, we want to be able to imagine this place where we want to be, and get a goal. How do we get from A to B? And usually that goal is just an activity outside, or most people, we have reasonable activities. Um, your drives and your motivations are not overly narcissistic. I don't want to run the world. There's unconscious factors about what I desire from work and friends, and there's conscious factors in what I desire from work and friends. And these theories break down into motivational drives. Now, motivational drives are what you do to facilitate those drives. What you do, the level of impact you want to have on your own life. Do I need this badly? Am I ready for a vacation? Am I ready to get out? Do I need some light? Yes, I need some light. I need some sun on my skin. I need to see something besides gray, dark Ohio weather with with girls that just don't look great, and men that look quite like me and just scowl all the time, and and have a nasty disposition around this time of the year. Um, you can either have some kind of a model, a drive. You can do a reductional theory from stress reductional theory, or stress reduction. A lot of Joey's asking me about cognitive dissonance the other day, and cognitive dissonance, and you think two things right now. Your brain's like ready to pop and you're explode, so you're thinking certain things while you're thinking completely opposite things, and it's just like, man, I just want to just let all this go and get going. And Mgtow helps your way through that. Mgtow does. We work on ourselves. I was talking with someone the other day about the meaning of Mgtow and what Mgtow is, and they says it says they said Mgtow from the beginning was a nonviolent action, was a nonviolent group, and there was an emphasis on nonviolence. And I thought, well, Mgtow's an activity. Mgtow's, you got to get active into your Mgtow and put that into your drives and your stress reduction, and your reduction of cognitive dissonance and your motivations and stuff. And you have to reduce those that stress and everything. But but what I was thinking, that we see that in the description somewhere out there on the internet too, that it's a nonviolent group, and nonviolence is a presupposition to apologetics. You're apologizing for something you never even thought for. Mgtow's more of a group that we are. What it should be is a non. We don't participate. We're non-participants in this thing. We're not playing the game. We're not doing that. We're putting that all aside. And let me see. Someone's blah 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 blah. Where is it at? There it is. I'm just going to turn this off. Yeah, we're like non-contestants in this thing. There's we don't do the protector provider thing. We're not doing. What we're really doing, it's non-cooperation. We're non-cooperational. We're just saying we're not going to cooperate with this system. And if you would have talked to Muammar Gandhi about these things, Muammar Gandhi, however you pronounce his name, if you were to talk to him about this things, he would say, no, we're not a group of nonviolence, because nonviolence is a presupposition that there might be violence. What we're saying is we're non-cooperative. That's what what he would say is we're just not cooperative to this thing, and we're just not going to cooperate with a government that wants to harm us. We're not going to cooperate with a with a system that wants to harm us, and then we start doing our own things. Let me say hello to everybody. Hello, Mgtow thread. Oh, did you just start building? Yeah, that's cool. You just started building Mgtow thread. He just says he's just started building a model and a home hobby, and that's a good thing to do. That's how do I get myself motivated during this time that we have to work, and it's more of a system sometimes. We see these people come in with these Maslow. Like I say, Maslow's theory is just that enthusiastic salesman trying to sell you some kind of fake area. He's trying to make you feel better by giving you some kind of like out, and it just presents, and what is all it is a goal. You just get a goal, and then you get a goal on an activity, and we start going and we do it. That's Mgtow's are pretty much motivated. We get an idea and we go with it, and we work it to the end. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We start again. We'll do it again, and we'll do it again and again and again. And summer's coming, and that gives us a lot of opportunity to have these feel good moments about your skills and yourself and what you're doing in this world, and just feeling better about yourself and everything. And that's important, especially during these gray months that we're about to come out of. So motivational theories and ourselves and the way people present them to them we're gonna probably see a few of them pop up. Vitamin D, all you need, and we have motivational theories too. If you don't know about this, there's drives, and individuals act into their own terms, which is motivational for you. Evolutionary psychology predicts that motivational theories rely on survival and self-interest and respectability, and how people look at you, and your drives into a conscious and these unconscious factors and stuff. Your drives are motivated by things that could make you feel external, what would you call them, rewards. Such as some people would look at, the simps would look at these external rewards, like, first thing we'd say is, wow, summer's coming. Pretty soon there's going to be the chicken heads running around the neighborhood with their shorts, and I'm going to get a half a dozen of those, because chicken heads, like a bucket of chicken, everybody gets a couple, and a couple pieces, and that would be self-motivating. And with Mgtow is a totally different. We're looking for more inner motivational things that drive us into these positive terms in our life, with not having to include another, and we're self-interested. Our behavior is self-interested, and it's influenced by some unconscious factors, some conscious factors, some desires, and it never includes duty to family, and that's the big one that bothers me in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's all motivated by duty to family, and these are conscious factors, like, man, if I just work harder, my family will be happier. And that's where most men are going to get in this world, and that's the way most people see motivation, and it's kind of it's that cognitive dissonance too. You have a motivational theory, what motivates you in your drives on your terms, and then you're doing it for somebody else. You're doing it for duty to family, duty to wife, duty to girlfriend. And that's why we say with these purple pill guys, you're not going your own way if you're going that way, because you're motivated by duty to some family need, and you're always motivated that. And we see that with the PUAs. Most of them ended up married. Most of them ended up just going down the black that old black road into marriage and darkness, and and everything. And I see a lot of Machiavellianism in these people. They want a girl, they want to put her in the kitchen, they want to put them above. So that's their motivation when they talk about we talk about the Virgin Madonna. They want to put them above them, and in that way they're motivated. They're using them same hierarchy of needs as inspiration, so they can obtain more happiness for other people, for her. And that's why what they'll talk about is how they can, and that's what will drive them to success. That's what's going to drive them to influence the world around them and have actions and goals and stuff. It's more Machiavellian. They're doing it, not doing it for himself. They're doing it for someone else, but they're doing it for the narcissism of it. So people will look at him like, oh, he's the He-Man. Look what he's doing. He's got that arm candy. He's got that. And that's what we don't inspire to be, because we've seen that self-validation in Mgtow is also it's also engineered by social desires. It's engineered by people around you that want things from you. You can see you as a pretty good utility, and you become a utility, a high-powered individual for them, for other people, and it's based on the narcissism of oneself. And if people will look at me like I'm better, I'm two men, I'm many men. I almost called myself many men. That's what the guy at the beer store used to call me when I walked in. He would go, "Hey, many men." I don't know why he called me that, but that's what he called me. But there's a craving for power. There's a craving for structure and structured individuals. Most MGTOWs, we're not very structured, and we're not very structured. We have a common structure, sort of. We do these things that we do, but they're non-relatable to other people, so people would say that we're not very structured. I think we are structured in a way we want to do things, but as for their kind of structure, ours is a little bit out of the box structure, so they don't understand it as much. So we run into this time of the year. We're going to have a lot coming at us, and there's going to be a lot. I swear to God, it's going to be interesting over the spring, because it is mating period too, and all the boys are going to be like, whoop whoop, getting out there, going to see all the girls, going to pluck me some of those unicorns off the tree and just get a whole stack of them and take them home. And that's not really the way it works. But if you ask the purple pillars, they just like, that's the way it works for them. And what motivates them is that Virgin Madonna on the pedestal, and they need that. They need that to motivate them. And it asks something. It asks something about themselves, whether they can be self-motivated, and they can be self-starters, where they can self-motivate themselves enough to start something and finish something without the assistance of somebody else. And that's always what it asked me. It asked the question of me, when I asked that question: why do these men need that validation? Why do these men need that Madonna on a pedestal as a goal? Because they're not self-starters. They're not people that are self-motivators. They're not people that are able to do independent actions on their own. They need assistance and they need validation, or else they'll just fade away and lay around on the couch and wait for something to motivate them and act like little children. But a Mgtow, all in all, a Mgtow is the guy that's he's comfortable with being alone. He's comfortable with solitude. He's comfortable with doing chores, and he doesn't need someone to make his bed. He doesn't need a mommy. He doesn't need someone to wash his dishes or cook for him. He does fine in a garage. Pull my bikes out in the garage and I work on them, and I'm just happy as the day is long, as long as I got some of that orange soap so I can wash my hands, because I just like that orange soap. The pumice soap. Yeah, that makes me feel good. And then I get an orangey smell to my hands, and I'm doing something that I like to do, and I'm happy. I just look out. I usually keep the garage door open when it's nice, but if it's not like it is now, it's gray. And today was another 39-degree day, and I was out pedaling all day myself, and it was a hard pedal. My legs really started hurting. It's like, man, I just can't wait for this to bust, and it's gonna bust soon. The weather's gonna break, and at least for the people in the north here, you're going to start seeing a lot more activity. You're going to start seeing a lot more motivation. You're going to start seeing happier, healthier people. And of course, you want to be one of those people too. You want to get out. For me, I have to lose about 40 pounds, and start planning for my summer trip. As you know, I'm going on a summer bike trip. I might be away as much as a month, maybe two. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Just going to get on it and start going and see where I end up. And that's my motivation, just to see if I can do it, since I am getting older, and I want to do one last thing in my life before I do get too old, or these knees start breaking down too much and everything. So that's my drive. That's my thing. That's why I take the bikes into the garage and I tune them and I do those things. And I'm still trying to decide which one I'm going to take. I don't know, but that's my thing, and not everybody else is going to do that thing. You got to find what's good for you, and as long as that's not putting an unobtainable goal. A lot of times we do that as men, and we can see this in sort of Randian objectivism, and we can see that with the blue pill guys. They're putting an unattainable goal up on a pedestal, and they're saying, I'm just going to go make $10 million. And then they're probably going to be disappointed. If your unobtainable goal on that pedestal is a woman, I could tell you, you're probably going to be disappointed, and it's going to be a half attainable goal. And then you're going to be like, well, this is horrible. And you'll probably have to go through letdown, and that wasn't, and you could do it all again next year. But who wants to waste a year on that unattainable goal of that perfect being that assists you in your life? That's what the blue pill people are going to do. And they're going to, stupid is as stupid does, they're going to keep redoing that same thing over and over and over again until they realize that they got to work from in here. And you have to be that self-starter. You have to be that self-motivator. You have to be your own marching band. You have to be your own motivational theory program. You're going to have your own motor. And I was just thinking of Jake, and he's like, hello, motor. Hello, motor. He's talking to the boat. That's how he used his motivation. He's like, he talked to the motor, and and he was a mechanic. But yeah, a lot of you guys are going to start working on cars too. I like to work on cars. I was going to start working on my van a little bit soon, and I'll pull it in the garage and make sure it's ticking and that stuff. But yeah, them are summer things and summer projects, and grass is going to be mowed soon, need to be mowed. And that's one of the biggest depressing moments in my life when I have to mow the grass. It's like I could be doing so much more than making some other person in the city happy by mowing my grass and wasting gasoline. And I just hate wasting gasoline on having to do something that the city says, because they'll call it noxious grass and give me a ticket if I don't. Is that not socialism? That's more like communism. I'm telling you, you have to mow your grass so everybody, ooh, the neighborhood looks like nice. I want to grow wheat. I know that's probably they're not going to let me do that. So it's that time of year again. All the maters will be out. I can't wait. It's like, I love these days where whenever I go somewhere, I'll either start recording or I'll put the camera in my car or turn the phone on camera on to be ready to get that shot, because that's going to be the first 70-degree days. All these clowns are going to come out, and the girls are going to be wearing their short shorts, and the men are going to be drinking too much. And that corner up there that gets closer to the city is going to be that convenience store is going to be filled with some of the most obnoxious people you can ever imagine, running around trying to have one good day in their lives while they're drunken and running after the split fee. And yes, some interesting things happen when you mix alcohol and girls. Hello, Susie. Hello, Eric. Hello, Joe Buddy. Hello, Joe Buddy. Who else is in here? Let me. I can only see so much. Hello, Ancient Lightning. Hello, CJ. Let me. Whatever you said, I'm gonna unblock those if those come with stimulant. Shh! Don't say that. Hello, everybody that showed up today. It's Saturday, and I just wanted to come on and start talking about summer and spring things and what you do and how you get motivated and Mgtow and how we apply our Mgtow to that. We are self-starters in Mgtow. We're people that find ourselves interesting. I mean, if I have one conversation in a day with myself, that's more interesting than I'm going to have with any of these purple pillars. But there's going to be a lot of things coming at us too while we do that. There's going to be the maters, the breeders, and breeding season is upon us, and there's going to be the cities and the city workers, and there's going to be all that activity out there, and there's going to be there's probably going to be a little pressure for you to involve yourselves in the mating systems. And me, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to just watch. I'm just going to watch, because the Mgtow bench is the most appropriate place to be when you're a Mgtow. You just sit back and get some popcorn and open a can of Faygo soda and and watch, because it's just so entertaining. You can't get that kind of entertainment anywhere else in the world. But with that's going to come a high pressure motivational salesmen that are going to try to sell you some kind of products that's going to make your life so much more fulfilling, whether that be buy my video or buy my my Viagra or the latest supplement, and or the Tony Robbins' newest way to motivate people that aren't self-starters. And there's a million of them out there, and we usually pick up a few of those right around this time of the year. And Mgtow, he's gonna probably been working out all winter just for this moment where he dreams of everybody on YouTube buying his products. And I'm ready for it too myself. I am just so ready to just have a nice day. I just want to have I want to get my fishing pole in the water and more like that out there that I want some greenness in my life. Right now, it kind of looks like. Let me see. It kind of looks like this, and I'd rather it look like that. That's what I want. Ah, can you just feel that? Can you feel that? Oh, where's way? Ah, yeah. It kind of looks better when the glow comes off of my head like the Pope. So that's all I wanted to come around and talk about today. Tomorrow is going to probably be really, that doesn't work too well for me. Uh, Let me change this back to. There we go. That works better for me. there's my MTB course back there, mountain biking course. Uh, So some of us are going to need a little bit of help. Some of us are going to need. You can get that at Mgtow. Go around and talk to your friends around there, and get out and be a self starter. And that's what I would suggest. If you find that inside of yourself, and most Mgtows are very, they're very industrious. They are self because, well, you just had to learn that in life because most of the time you realize that everybody else is just going to bring you down, and no expectation, no disappointment. That's what I say. And that's what females, I got no expectation. Feminism, I got no expectation, and there's no disappointment out of them. And that's just the way I like to do my life. And that's with families and friends, children, and whoever, no expectation, no disappointment. And do our own things individually. Individuals, that's what we decided we wanted to be, individuals. And if that doesn't make you happy, then maybe Mgtow is not the place for you. But it does get a little hard around this time of the year. The grayness is starting to go away. There was a little sunshine today, but it was still cold, and it was still hard pedal. The pressure was still there, and it just didn't feel all that great. I thought, oh man, look at that sun. And I was having my face up against the window like a little kid. I was like, ah. And I was let down. It didn't get up to the Vention wants us to prep for tough times. Oh yeah, we're gonna have the coronavirus, and I probably wanted to talk about that sooner or later. The doom and gloomers, the tough timers. The coronavirus is going to kill you all. I mean, how many times have we had this? I just listened to a video early this morning. I think it was Black Pill Gangster, and he was like, "How many times have we heard this? SARS and AIDS and Ebola and yeah, H1N1V and bird flu and H1N1 and swine flu, and then they combined and made a swine bird flu, and they mated, and that's the nature of viruses. The longer you live, the more of them you're going to see, and they're going to come in different shapes and forms every single time. So it's probably nothing new. There's probably been a lot of viruses that we didn't even detect. We just knew them. And I often ask myself in science did these people invent coronavirus or COVID, whatever it is, 19 or something, or did they just finally get the right equipment to detect it? Because there's nothing new under the sun. I find it hard to believe. I used an AIDS analogy. Did the people just really discover AIDS, or did they just have the ability now to detect it? And we thought it was something else. And I don't think that's a conspiracy theory. I think most people are just most scientists, they just want to have credit for something, and that's a motivational tool for science. I think Stardust was talking about science and how it's kind of letting us down now, technology, and we're not getting there's been a lot of technology, and basically medical technology is the newest best microscope and the ability to run things through a computer now and see exactly what you're dealing with is when the first guy ran that thing, ran all that stuff through the computer, he thought he invented it all. And that's more narcissism. I think viruses, like everything, are just they're going to try to live too, and they're gonna grow, and that's Darwinism. And if you don't think a virus is like that, you're crazy. If you believe in religion, then obviously you don't believe in Darwinism, so you probably don't believe that viruses evolve too, and that's just the way of the world, and they're going to continue evolving. And next year or 3 years down the road, there's going to be something new, and I don't see anything gloom and doom about it. But there's a lot of people that want to hinge on selling buckets of. It's like that Jimmy Baker. He's out there probably selling a lot of buckets of food, and you can use it as a toilet. You can use the bucket. Did you ever watch that clown? That guy is such a clown. It's like, ooh, and you can poop in it. It's like, ooh. It's like, really, a shovel and some woods would do fine. Which answers the old question: do Christians shit in the woods? Yeah, they do. But but there's going to be doom and gloomers, and they're going to always want to sell you some new form of apocalyptic death that's coming around. And if you buy my latest, I would say if you're going to get anything, and I would get some iodine. I would start taking a little iodine. I always like to take iodine in case of heavy metals in your body. It removes the heavy metals in your body, gives you a little boost in your metabolism around this time of year. And you can find it at your local market. You get some clear iodine and 6 drops in some water every morning for about a month, and it'll boost your immune system, and it boosts your energy levels. It starts your metabolism. It cleans out heavy metals that you may have acquired at your jobs, your shop, the atmosphere, wherever you get them, and do a body cleanse. Get your immune system ready. That's the best thing you can do for yourself. Activity. I like the idea of every Mgtow owning an electric bike or a bike. That way, when we have our million Mgtow march, we'll have a million Mgtow bike drive. Just all show up with our pedal bikes and a million Mgtows on electric bikes and pedal bikes. I just like that idea, just because it would be freaking funny, because we're so unique. But it was a halfway lovely day. The sun was there today, but it was just cold. Disappointing in that manner. Made me start to think about. I'm getting giddy too. I'm just like, I know it's going to hit 60 here soon. 60, and then 70. That first perfect 70-degree day. You can walk in the park with a shirt like this. Not this shirt. This shirt got holes all over it from acid. Yeah, there were acid holes. I splash acid on myself a lot. So don't ask how. So the first 70-degree day, and that's going to make you feel a lot better, and it might motivate you into thinking about something you want in this life. And us Mgtows, we always have some goal, that's why, because we are self-starters. We don't need anybody else to motivate us. That's why Maslow's hierarchy of needs for us is just a joke. It's like, you don't have to lie to me and convince me with some magic place I can go in my head to self-motivate me. I could do that myself. I want a ski-doo. And that's what I'm going to work on. I want a canoe this year. I was supposed to buy the canoe last year, but that never happened, and it got too late. I just like, oh, screw it. But I'm going to get a canoe this year because I want to go canoeing right at that river right there, right down there. You can go down there. That's a little creek, and that's the creek that goes into the river. I can show you the other half of it if you want to see it. I think I put it up here. Did I? Yeah. Yeah, right there. That goes into there, and then it gets wide. It starts widening out, and it goes into the river up by my house. And this is a tree. I took this. This is my classic sitting under the tree shot. And that's what it looks like around my house right about now. And it's coming in, and I want to get a canoe so I can dump it in right there and then go down to the river and kind of circle around. There's a fishing spot I wanted to go check out down there, but it's going to be a little bit of a to get there. And so that's my motivation. That's what I'll use to motivate myself. And that idea of that perfect summer day when it's I think it was 70 some that day. It was like the first when I took this. I took this quite a few years ago, about 4 years ago. I don't know how many years ago. And I was like, oh, it's just a beautiful. It was the first day. I always remember these first days, after winter. The first days after winter. These are the best because there's the most activity in the neighborhood. activities important. It is so important because the clown world, and the clown world is my enjoyment nowadays. And if there's no activity, then it's it's like I don't get it. The astards are going to be fighting and running up and down the street with hatchets after each other and over a woman, and that's all going to happen. And I'm going to get to see it all right up. Boom! There it's going to be like, wow. Trucks. Flu shots have killed. Yeah, Mr. Flu shots are great about now. Flu shots. So everybody wants to bring you down now too. There's the zombie apocalypse people and lizard people, the lizard people, and the apocalyptic summer is coming, and coronavirus is going to kill us all, and blah 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 blah, and an asteroid's going to hit, and Jesus is going to fight with aliens, and all those people. And it's like, nah, I'll just be down there. I'm going to be down right down there, and I'm going to be just fishing. That's what a Mgtow does. And I'm going to pedal down over that bridge and come around, and I'm just going to go fishing. I do plan on doing. I wanted to get into the lake last month because the burbot were in, and I never went out to go burbot fishing. If you burbot fish like I do, you only need to burbot fish once because they're huge, and you need about 2 of those to feed me for like a month and a half, 2 months. And, they call them lawyers or whatever you call them, eel pudge. They're eels, and I like to do that. I missed that this year, and I was like, I was so disappointed in myself because I really wanted to get down and do that. And but I didn't. But I'm going to do that soon. Motivate myself to go fishing. So let me see what Misanthropic says. Okay, it said nothing. Which was the title of this or the topic of this conversation that we're having one-sided right now. I'm talking and you're listening. Motivation. How do you do that, and what not to fall for, and have reasonable expectations and reasonable motivations, reasonable goals. The best way to achieve and be happy in life if you have a reasonable goal, like I want a canoe, and that's a $400-$500 proposition, and I have to work a little more or save a little bit more, and get the right one. And once I get it, it's like it's more junk in my house, and it's like there's a reasonable goal with that because I want to go fishing down there. That's right down there. It's about 1.5 miles up from there. I have to go pedal paddle, not pedal. But that's a goal, and it's a nice time of year to get those goals. But having reasonable goals and building from reasonable goals too. If you have a hobby and you build from a reasonable goal, I was going to get a y and x axis and a 3 axis mill soon, and that's one of my goals. I want to start building these parts, and it's just for a hobby now until I figure out how to do it. But it might turn into a business. It might turn into a booming business, and a lot of things might happen. The lottery of life, you never know what's going to happen in your lottery of life. If you ask any billionaire, he's going to tell you, hey, I just did nothing special. Everything just worked out when I had an idea, and that idea was a goal, and he was motivated. He was motivated to do something, and it worked out. And that's the way we got to think about these things. Never stop doing your goals, and keep them reasonable, and things that you can acquire. And if you can't acquire it, maybe working through and pressing through, just working maybe a little harder, or saving a little more, or doing the right thing, or whatever you need to do. Take that first step forward every day. And I know it's hard around this time of year because we've been saturated with darkness, grayness, gloom, and conspiracy theories, and everything that seems to saturate our lives over the winter is news agencies just telling us the apocalyptic summer is coming and we're all going to die. And it's like, that gets pretty depressing. You got to turn that stuff off sometimes. My buddy said it can happen any minute. You might walk out of your house and get hit by a Winnebago. So don't worry about it. I can't imagine getting hit by a Winnebago, but he says, yes, that might happen. A lot of things might happen in your life, but there's no reason to ruin today for those mights and tomorrow. But we get saturated with that garbage. My mother used to fall for that stuff. I used to have to come over and then calm her down. She used to watch all those New York, the New York cop shows with and what was it, Law and Order, and those things where every day a woman is getting raped, and either someone stole a woman. And that happens a lot, I suppose, in movies. Every other movie they make is someone stole a woman. I've never seen too many of getting. If you want one, you take it. You might find out you don't want it. I say give a fool what he wants. If you're out there stealing women, them things cost money, and they yell all the time, and you know about those things. I can't imagine somebody wanting to steal. It's like stealing a branch from my backyard, which you're going to have to lug home. It's like, you could take that branch. Thank you for removing it. There's just a lot of really stupid things to steal, and a woman's not one of those things you want, because they cost money and you got to take care of them and feed them. It's ridiculous. But yeah. So summertime's coming, and if that's your motivation. But like I was saying, let's digress back to what I was talking about. She would watch those things so hard, those movies, and every one of them was about something horrible happening to her gender. And then she would stare out the window. It's like, Joey, there's evil people out there, and I don't want to go outside. And I was like, Mom, go outside anytime you want. Nobody's going to steal you. There's not rapists out there. Rape is 1 in 1,675. Them are the real stats, and most of the time you're never even going to know somebody that's been raped in your neighborhood. I don't know anybody that's been raped. In my lifetime, I've seen one, and that's like in 50 years. Come on. It's not 1 in 4. That's what I'm saying, if you do the correct. But they used to get her all excited, and then pile on that apocalyptic future on top of she was going to get raped, and there was always some new virus and new cold and new and that's why I ask a lot. I ask, like, who's the biggest terrorist, Al Qaeda or the media? are the American media. Because American media is making more people miserable than terrorism. So who's the biggest terrorist? You can't fall for that stuff, and they always want to bring you down, and they want to get you working harder for them, and they always want something, and they want you to buy something, some new product. I mean, this year I didn't know that the vitamin D would save my life. That's if you ask them, man, buy that vitamin. My neighbor, she just bought. She was telling me the other day she just bought. That CBD oil, and it was going to be the next cure for arthritis. $160, and she's like, Joe, this stuff doesn't do nothing. I said, no, there's nothing in there. And but the good news, hey, Ohio finally jumped aboard the 2000s, and Ohio finally yesterday passed here. I'm allowed to grow pot here if I want now, for medical and home purposes. I don't think I will, because I've never been much of a pot smoker, but at least I'm allowed to, and I'm happy. But my thoughts were, wait, can't we just have one state where pot's illegal? I mean, just make it illegal. Don't throw people in jail for it. Like, make them do community service, like cleaning up garbage in the park for one day. If you get caught smoking pot, you have to clean up the garbage in the park for one day. I thought that would be great. Just make it illegal, and the punishment would be like civil duty of cleaning up your park or your local playground or something. But I'd like if one or two or three or four states would just keep some kind of rule and moderation about that, in case somebody, like me, in case I don't want to be around potheads. And potheads are quite interesting people too. It's like, I don't want to be around that, and I don't want to smell it, and I don't want to do that. So can't we just keep Ohio pot free? Or we can make it like I don't know, Montana. This no pot smoking in Montana, but I think they already passed it where they have it. But Ohio did that this last week, and now we're in Applebee's America, where every state is the same, and that's always the way it is. We get America, the Applebee's of the world, where everything's the same wherever you go. Every restaurant is the same, and every state is the same. And no, I want things to be interesting. I want to be able to, this state has prostitution. This state says they don't want it. That's the way it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be this state decides that they'll deal with that, and this state decided that they won't, and you have a choice then, because I like freaking choices. This state will not put up with marijuana smokers, this state will, and that gives me a choice, and that's what I really want in this world. I really just want the choice, and that's what I want about a lot of things. But men have very little choices in some. We get forced into traditionalism. Women have the choice of polygamy. She can go from boom, 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 one baby daddy to the next, and then he's held, we, us, them baby daddies, the us, the we's, the men, we're held in the traditional sphere. You'll go to jail if you don't want to, but they have that polygamy choice, and it's like, but you're held in traditional rules, and they'll put you in jail, and they'll make your life suck, and they're going to take your money. And there is no abortion for you because you're a man. Financial abortion, even though abortion, that's what upwards to 70% of abortion is vanity and financial. Either they don't want to ruin their body, or that thing, that MLM, they don't want to ruin it, or or they financially feel they can't afford it, and they have that right, but men don't. It's like, see, that's what I want. I want choice in our lives, and equality and choice. That's what we all want in Mgtow. That's why we do this thing, and that would make me feel better about the world I live in if I had equality and choice, and it'd probably brighten my day up, where, it would be a sunnier day the next time I went out if I knew that men weren't violently put in jail and for traditional mating schemes. Breaking traditional mating schemes, you'll be violently abused. You'll be financially abused. You might end up homeless. You might end up living somewhere you don't want to live, and that's probably worse than homelessness. Um, just doing things you don't want to do for the sake of another human being. That you put on the pedestal. Anyway, we talked about that. You put that on the pedestal up there. You wanted to make that your goal. The family, the arm candy, that whatever she looks like in your mind's eye, that perfect celestial being. Mine was French. I know Speznex has Tattoo Girl. Mine was a French girl, but yeah, we all pay for those decisions, and they will make you pay too. You don't get out like women. Women get they get out, they get a new name, they get to change their birth date if they want. They do too. Look into it. I'm not lying. They change their birth date because that way they're cleared from all the credit. You get all the bills from the credit as the male. She gets outs. She gets to change her name back to her original name, and she can change her birth date too, which totally wipes her credit clean. Which is, I just found that one out too, that they could do that with their birth dates. I was like, oh, because I seen it twice and I never really thought about it. I was like, why does this girl say her birth date was that when I know it was that day? And then I realized that both of them that did that, both were just recently divorced. And I was like, oh, that's why they do it. So that they get brand new credit. I wish I could get brand new credit after they ruined mine. They get to ruin yours, and then they get new credit. That's one of the, oh wow. And then you have to pay all those bills after they run up those credit cards. Absurd. This world is absurd. That's why I want to go down there. I want to go down there. I want to go fishing. I want to catch one of those fish, and I want to start a fire, and I want to flay it, and I want to cook it right there, and I want to sit there and fall asleep because that's a better world down there than out in this modern world. Oh. You learned your mother did that, huh? Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would be as a child of you probably like, man, I could have had a brother. That would have been really cool. And sorry about that, Eric. Uh, so I've talked quite enough. I'm on my hour and 2 minutes, and I was hoping someone would join us, but like again, no one ever joins me. And and I hope you're all figuring this thing out, and I hope that you're planning some goals, some activities, and some things to improve your life around these summer months. And if you're in Australia and the winter months are coming, or down in Venezuela or Argentina and the winter months are coming, get prepared for that. And I'm sorry that we just went through it. And but you can attach some goals to your life and motivate yourself and be a self-starter and make yourself happy, and ignore all the chicken heads out there, because that's coming too. They're going to be walking around. They're going to be quacking. They're going to be quacking. And there's going to be all kinds of activity coming up. And mating season is upon us, where all the simps, they start getting out there, and they're going to get their new skinny tie and their new clothes, and they're going to get their new skinny jeans. And that's going to just be funny. And just like they'll be prancing around in neighborhoods looking for Susie May and the Nawalt. But as for you as a Mgtow, keep your goals reasonable, and keep moving forward. That's all I got to say. Until you get what you want, then you don't have to move no more. You just, if life is the way you want it, then that's what you want, and that's what you got, and just relax with it, and enjoy. And with that, I'm going to let you all go now. And like always, thanks for coming around. Thanks, Jeff and Mgtow Thread and Mr. Jones and Eric and Ancient Lightning and anybody else that has shown up, Garchamp and who else? Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to go all back. Mike and whoever showed up. And most of all, thanks for coming around and supporting me and listening to my rambling. And thanks a lot, mostly for just for being Mgtow. Thanks a lot for being Mgtow. Mgtows.